What do you do?
I make basses and restore basses, and I'm making my second cello, and soon I'll be making electric basses and electric guitars.
Oh, wow.
So basically, if you build a bass that has sub, it has spread in it, you can always make it more focused. But if you build a bass that doesn't have sub, you're not going to get it, no matter what you do with the sound post. You're just not going to get it. It's not there, it's not there.
So Philadelphia had a unique visitor today, and that is Chris Threlkeld. Chris came all the way from Iowa. I've been following his journey on Facebook, going from Iowa. I think he was in Tennessee, then he was in Atlanta, and then he went through DC and Baltimore, and he was in Philadelphia tonight. And Chris reminded me that we probably first met when I was subbing in the Minnesota Orchestra, and he came up to Minnesota to show some of his basses to members of the Minnesota Orchestra. And I was there, I was subbing. It was just a really neat time, and that was a lot of fun. But Chris is a luthier who lives in Iowa. He makes basses, and I got to see him today.
Mr. Joe Conyers.
Yo.
God, what's up?
I actually am recording this because that's what I do.
I was about to say, like, what's going on?
Can I take pictures of you recording this?
Let's take a picture with this.
There you go. So Chris was showing off his new bass, number 47, and he was also showing off his new tailpieces, which are amazing. They were beautiful, like works of art. Chris Threlkeld.
And I always say that the stealths are ready to take off, right? They look like they're ready to fly, right?
All these different types of wood, and he was talking about how they've had great response on different instruments. So yeah, it was great to talk to him about that and see what he had to say. What do you do?
I make basses and restore basses, and I'm making my second cello, and soon I'll be making electric basses and electric guitars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the first prototype, I've been busy over the COVID thing.
Yeah, hey, that's amazing.
Yeah, the first workable prototype for the bass guitar should be ready to go maybe the end of November.
That's amazing.
That's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Wow,
So, yeah.
wow. And where do you live? Right now you're in Philadelphia.
Right now I'm in Philadelphia, but I live in Iowa City, Iowa.
Iowa City, Iowa.
But I'm opening a shop in Chicago next fall. So yeah, I'll probably spend like a week, in one place, then go back and if when I'm building, I'll do the heavy stuff at home in Iowa City, all the huge dust making stuff.
And you've got a bass. What number is this?
This is number 47.
47.
Yeah.
47.
Yes.
Wow.
Jeez, 47. Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I'm tired.
That's a lot of bases.
How long does it normally take you to make one?
This one actually came together, and it's kind of funny. So this one came together in about 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
I know, yeah. But in the midst of all that, I was getting bass guitar stuff together, and then the tailpieces and everything else. So it was almost like this is one of my favorite basses because it just kind of said, yeah, we'll do this. Don't worry about me. We'll come together pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice. So yeah, it really was a fun build.
So while I was waiting in the room, I got to try out the bass, which, by the way, was awesome. The bass feels really terrific. It's super easy to play. It has a great ease and evenness across the whole of the instrument. Chris went down to pick up two guys, William Valencia and Zacharie Small of Temple University. So we each got a chance to play the instrument and make our own comments, and I didn't have any of my good bows. It's a long story. My instrument is being held hostage by the Kimmel Center right now. So the bass was beautiful from the bottom to the top. Really, the how can I say, the trademark Threlkeld craftsmanship. It was really great to see this new instrument, not even 2 weeks old, and to be able to play it.
So basically, if you build a bass that has sub, it has spread in it, you can always make it more focused. But if you build a bass that doesn't have sub, you're not going to get it, no matter what you do with the sound post. You're just not going to get it. It's not there. It's not there. So I really want to build a bass that's got sub, and then you can kind of mess around with the post and stuff to make it more clear if you want. And that's kind of the concept with it. It could be a solo bass too, if you want it to be, because it's ergonomically designed so that you can get in the thumb position pretty easily. Basically, you just have to tighten the post a bit. He has one of those carbon fiber ones that he can
Oh,
actually
okay.
adjust it himself. So if you just want to tighten the post a bit, it's gonna cut better and be clearer. But if you want to go with the spread and get some more meat out of it, you can just loosen the post a bit or change the position of it, and you're good. So it brings it a little bit tighter. The strings come out of the top of the tailpiece because I wanted it to act like a jump rope. Strings kind of like are basically a jump rope, right? And if you have a standard side or a standard tailpiece, they come out of the loop, they go over the saddle. And it's like trying to jump rope, right? So they're coming out of top, and the only way you can do that is because. So if you look at your standard tailpiece, it's flat on the bottom or it's concave. There wouldn't be enough wood to do that with this. So I thought, well, why is it flat? There's no point to that. So I thought I'd mirror it because I like the shape. Then I thought, well, now I can have the strings come out of the top. And then in addition to that, if you look at the very bottom, it's only got one wire leg that goes around. And that allows it for more roll, more pitch, and yaw.
Just
That's the word I learned. I mean, so
Interesting.
yeah. So it allows it to vibrate a lot more.
So pretty much now it's just like the whole thing is just one big string now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you see the wire tailpieces, they're great. But I think that you lose some sympathetics. They're working as a team now, right? But it has the same kind of basic feel of the wire tailpieces as far as letting it operate like a jump rope. But I think you get more sympathetics with the piece of wood there, and then also the sizing is really important too, because they're custom sized. You want to make sure that you have as little wire as possible. You want that to be wood. You want that to be all connected until the very bottom of the set.
These are really long.
Yeah, so my bases are they're longer bases, so it requires a longer tailpiece.
Yeah, they're really long.
Yeah, like if it if I were to have one done for mine, it probably won't be that long.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is that I sent you the measurement video, so you just send that to me, and I custom make it to the size that you needed.
So it was really, really great to see Chris today. It's nice to. We all went out to dinner, and actually it's only the second time I've been out since March. But we had a really nice dinner, and we were just talking about kind of the craftsmanship and what it means to be an artist in the way that he creates art, and an artist in the way that I create art. As me as a musician, and him as a craftsman who actually creates these things, and some of the synergies and similarities that exist in that. And I think probably the biggest takeaway from that conversation is the fact that at the end of the day, he makes basses, and he makes basses for a lot of people. And a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on what makes a great bass. And if Chris spent all of his time trying to make basses to fit everyone's happiness or needs, he'd never be able to get any work done. He'd be thinking about, well, what about this, and what about this, and what about this, and how can I do this, and what if I move this, and I can move this string, and do this thing, and it gets so overwhelming that it would be hard for him to make his own instrument. Thus is what it's like being a musician. After a while, you'll get a lot of critique on you should do this, you should do this, you should try this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. But ultimately, as an artist, you have to make that final decision, and you have to create the art that you will create. And in that way, that's what Chris says. He creates the basses that he wants to create, and he hopes people like them, and he stands behind his product and believes in what he has to offer. Yeah, so give us all your, how do we find you, Chris?
It's Heartland, SBS.com. It's Heartland, HEARTLAND, S as in Sam, B as in boy, S as in Sam.com. Or you can look me up on Facebook, Chris Threlkeld Weekend, or Instagram. I think I'm just Chris Threlkeld, right? Yeah.
And I think as a closing, take all the information that you have and then create the best art you could possibly make, because then it's yours, it's uniquely yours, and you can tell your story without fear of any kind of negative energy in your playing, in which case it's always a gift. I talk about this as a player all the time. So in the way that Chris makes basses and gives them to the world, you make your music and give it to the world unabashedly. And on that note, everyone have a lovely, wonderful day.